Hello my friend. So I got a lot of comments asking about how I train for fitness and what I do in a weekly schedule. And so here's the answer. So I teach a lot of martial arts. I teach about 25 hours per week roughly, and participate as much as I can. Of that 25 hours, about 4 hours per week are kids class, where I do nothing but stand around and tell them what to do. And the other is adult class, where I participate as much as I can, and especially in the randori and sparring. So I get at least half an hour to an hour per day of randori and sparring, and some technical work, and of course some, like the typical drills that you do and warm-up drills. And I do strength training every day, at least once per day, usually twice per day, for about half an hour to 1.5 hours. And typically I get up at about 9 o'clock in the morning and I start stretching. I think stretching first in the morning is really important. All the animals do it except us humans. So stretching first. I try to get in some strength training in the morning, and then some other strength training in the afternoon. Some physical exercises like strength endurance and power training. And then in the evening, the martial arts. What I mostly do at the moment is bodyweight exercises. You see I got some gymnastic rings. I got gymnastic rings at home. I use my kettlebells. I use a lot of band resistance as well. And I use a lot of grip training, my hand grippers. And so my philosophy is that as a natural athlete who doesn't take any steroids, I am relying on high frequency training. Okay, so the people that take steroids, they can just, like destroy their body, and then you have a very long phase where your body is still building, so a very long anabolic phase. The hypercompensation lasts much longer, so they can train their legs once a week is no problem. But to me, so I need to perform every day, so I cannot work as hard anyways. I cannot make my muscles very sore because the next day is training again. And also, as I said, my phase of hypercompensation is much shorter. So I train every part of my body every day. Not every day in the same way, but I will train legs every day. I will train arms, back, chest, abs every day. And I put a focus on neck, forearms and abs, which are, in my personal opinion, the most undertrained parts of the human body for fighters. So I think that as a fighter, you need the most complete physical profile of any sports or athletic endeavor there is, because you and I, we are literally built to fight. So it's one of the basic functions of the human body, like eating, drinking, shitting, reproducing, running, maybe climbing, that stuff, and fighting. Many parts of our body are specifically built to fight. Like a fist is only there to punch only there. Remember that that's the only thing that we do with our fists, is punching people, bam, 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 bam. And like facial features and stuff, many things are specifically designed to fight. So the physical preparation for a fighter includes training every part of your body in every single skill set, in every single aspect. So you need mobility, the ability to move, flexibility and mobility in your joints. That is the basic of your whole physical preparation. If a joint cannot move, you cannot have any strength in it. So mobility of your joints and flexibility of your muscles is the basics. Then you need strength, maximum strength output, maximum recruitment of muscle fibers. So you have muscles and the ability to activate as many muscle fibers or as much of your muscles at once as possible. That is strength, and that is what you need. Then we need power, so to quickly activate the muscle fibers. Okay, that is power, strength per time. We need muscle endurance to do a strenuous exercise for a prolonged period of time. We need endurance to just keep working or doing whatever you do for a long period of time. And you of course need coordination, intramuscular coordination, which is strength, and intermuscular coordination, which is also an aspect of strength and has to do with dexterity as well. So you need to be able to perform all those kinds of movements. And of course you need speed, so just the ability to move quickly and fast. You need all aspects of speed, like I don't know the English terms, but it's very important to move your body in every aspect. We all know those guys that come from the gym that are very strong, but they cannot physically perform the movements that they would need to be a fighter. So they, in a fight, are comparatively weak, let's say. But that is because they are literally not trained to do that movement. It's not because their muscles hinder them or they lack the strength. They lack that specific strength. So all kinds of movements. Start with the hands, you know, it's just not just gripping. Your hands have many different tendons. So you have that part of flexing the finger, that part of flexing the finger, and even here in the fingertip. And that's three different movements that I need to train specifically. And also like opening and closing the fingers. And of course, flexing the palm and extending, and also finger extension, which is highly undertrained, and rotation and deviation, you know, lateral deviation and medial deviation, both of it. So I use many different tools. Like for that specific movement, I use a hammer where I just use a dumbbell, you know, and a weight and a fat grip, and then I can just create all kinds of wrist movements. Okay, and the same is true for every other part of your body. You might notice that I have comparatively small arms and small lats because they are trained in balance with other muscles that maybe for many bodybuilders or gym goers are not as important. Like, you know, the, how is it called? Rotator cuff is it called in English, to prevent shoulder injury, which is incredibly important. You know, being stronger prevents injury, but specific strength. So I need also to be very strong, not just in leg extension, but also in leg flexion, in rotation from the hip, you know, in abduction, in adduction, in extension, in every single movement that your body can do. And not just isolation, but also compound exercises. So I just do many different exercises, jumping, using the kettlebell, working on the back that you don't see because it's out of the frame. And especially just doing a lot of randori with fairly strong people. So it's quite complex, and to be honest, to explain every single aspect of my physical training would just be way too much for a short video like this. If you have any specific questions, I will be very glad to answer them. And I will probably make longer videos about specific parts of my training and that you could profit from, and why exactly I do the training like this, and how I separate and categorize the different aspects of the training. Hope that helped you, and see you next time.